Before starting the repair, gather the necessary tools and prepare your Chromebook properly. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver for removing screws, plastic pry tools to safely open the case without scratching, isopropyl alcohol for cleaning components, and replacement parts from online retailers for $10 to $30. Back up all your important data before proceeding. Ensure the Chromebook is completely powered off. Be aware that opening the device may void your warranty. To open the Chromebook, start by removing the screws from the bottom case. There are usually 10 to 12 screws that need to be carefully unscrewed and set aside. First, remove all the screws from the bottom case. Use a Phillips screwdriver to carefully unscrew each one. There are typically 10 to 12 screws holding the case together. Keep them organized so you can replace them later. Next, use plastic pry tools to carefully open the chassis. Start at one corner and gently work your way around the edges. Be very careful to avoid damaging internal components or cables. Go slowly and apply even pressure. Remember to work slowly and be mindful of the internal components throughout this process. Once the chassis is open, you'll have access to the keyboard area. With the Chromebook opened, locate the keyboard ribbon cable that connects the keyboard to the motherboard. This thin, flat cable is usually clearly visible near the keyboard area. Gently disconnect the ribbon cable from its connector. Be careful not to pull or bend it forcefully. Remember, the ribbon cable is fragile and can be easily damaged. Handle it carefully to avoid tears or connection issues. When the entire keyboard is faulty, such as after a liquid spill, you need to replace the complete keyboard assembly. Begin by disconnecting the faulty keyboard assembly from the laptop chassis. Carefully lift it away from the base. Position the new keyboard assembly and connect the ribbon cable firmly. Double-check that all connections are secure to prevent loose contacts. This method replaces the entire keyboard assembly, which is necessary when the fault affects the whole unit rather than individual keys. Now we'll reassemble the Chromebook and test the repair. First, carefully reconnect the keyboard ribbon cable to the motherboard connector. Ensure it's seated firmly but gently to avoid damaging the pins. Next, reassemble the Chromebook by placing all internal components back in their correct positions. Make sure the keyboard assembly sits properly and all cables are routed neatly. Secure the bottom case by tightening all the screws in the correct order. Typically, there are 9 to 12 screws around the perimeter. Don't over-tighten to avoid stripping. Power on the Chromebook and test every key, including letters, numbers, and arrows. Press each key to ensure it registers correctly. If issues persist, use Chrome OS Diagnostics to run a keyboard test. If all keys function properly, the repair is complete. Otherwise, check connections or consider professional help. If keys still don't work after replacement, the first step is to double-check the ribbon cable connection. This delicate connector can become loose during reassembly and cause unresponsive keys. Another common issue is counterfeit parts. These have become more prevalent, with reports showing up to 30% of replacement keyboards being fake. Counterfeit components often fail prematurely, increasing repair failure rates. As these Chromebook models age, keyboard issues become more frequent. Rather than repeated repairs, consider upgrading to a newer Chromebook with a more durable keyboard design. Modern models offer better reliability and longer lifespans.